What's up, everybody? It's Raphael, and I hate people. We are counting down to the end of the book of Genesis in our Bible episodes. I really ain't got no words. Let's just do a quick recap, right quick, on where we left off in the last episode. I did some reading. Look at that. That's all me. But let's see. Where do we leave off? Chapter 41. So we did 39. We did 39 through 41. Okay, in chapter 39, now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. Okay, so this was after they sold Joseph. The Lord was with Joseph. He lived in the house of the Egyptian master. The Egyptian master is the Pharaoh. Joseph found favor in the master's eyes, the Pharaoh. Potiphar put him in charge of his household. Potiphar was the Pharaoh, I guess. Yeah, Potiphar. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Potiphar. He entrusted to his care everything he owned. He entrusted Joseph with everything because he saw that the Lord gave him like success in everything he did. So yeah. With that being said, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. His master's wife, Potiphar's wife, the Pharaoh's wife, took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." She was hitting on Joseph so hard. From what the book says, Joseph was handsome and well built. So, of course, she wanted a piece of that, you know. But yeah, he refused, and this is what made me like respect Joseph like totally, even after the whole, him having these dreams and making his family think that they gonna end up serving him and stuff like that. Which, I mean, I'm not hating. It's just, it seemed like it come off a little arrogant, if you ask me. But yeah, he said, what was it? No one is greater. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. And I don't know. Man got a code and he lived by it, and I like that. One day he went into the house. None of the household servants was inside, and she caught him by his cloak. She set him up. Well, from what I'm taking from it, she made everybody leave because she knew he was coming. So she caught him, but he took off running, left the cloak in her hands. He jetted. Gone. Not a smart move, if you ask me. Like, we all alone, and I left a piece of my clothing there with you. With that being said, she called her household servants. She said to them, "He came in here to sleep with me, but I screamed, and he ran. And that is why you don't leave your shit where somebody can tell a lie." So yeah, when his master heard the story from his wife, of course, Joseph's master took him and put him in prison. That's what happens, man. Sometime later, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offended their master. The Pharaoh put them in custody, so they ended up in the same jail as or prison or whatever as Joseph. The two men had a dream, each with their own meaning, and they both told Joseph their dreams. The chief cupbearer, Joseph told him that the 3 branches in his dreams stand for 3 days. And the Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your position, and you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand just as you used to do. So I guess basically his dream is good news in a sense. But when all goes well with you, remember me, mention me to the Pharaoh, and get me out of this prison. So, I mean, I guess that's a fair trade. I tell you about, your dream. You get me out of this prison. Anyway, the chief baker, he told him about, Joseph told the chief baker about his dream too. He told him that the 3 baskets are 3 days. They stand for 3 days. Pharaoh will lift off your head. Will lift off your head and impale your body on a pole. Yeah, you finna die, son. This is it for you. 3 days that's all you got left to live. And the birds will eat away your flesh. You finna die a terrible death. Now, the 3rd day was Pharaoh's birthday. And just as Joseph said, he did everything basically the Pharaoh did exactly what Joseph said about both the servants, the chief cupbearer and the what was the other guy? The baker. Yeah, he did exactly what he said. Killed the one dude and gave the other dude back his position. But the chief cupbearer forgot about Joseph. 2 full years passed. Pharaoh had a dream himself. Actually, he had 2 because he woke up from the first one, then he went back to sleep, had a second dream. Let's see. The chief cupbearer said to him, "Today I am reminded of my shortcomings." A young Hebrew, talking about Joseph, interpreted both his dream and the baker's dream. And things turned out exactly as he interpreted. So this led the Pharaoh to send for Joseph. Let's see what we got. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, "The dreams of Pharaoh are one and the same." Okay, so after the Pharaoh told Joseph about his dreams, Joseph told him that the 2 dreams mean the same. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads of grain are 7 years. Yeah. So, what else do we have? He said they are 7 years of famine. Let's see. Let's go back a little bit. Verse 27, the 7 lean, ugly cows that came up afterward are 7 years, and so are the 7 worthless heads of grain scorched by the east wind. They are 7 years of famine. Oh, okay. Okay, with that being said, 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt, but 7 years of famine will follow. The abundance in the land will not be remembered because of the famine that follows will be so severe. Hey, what Joseph says happens. So, with that being said, let's see what else happens. So, Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I hereby put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt." Who else would know what to do than you? You see it all. He said that I am Pharaoh, but without your word, no one will lift a hand or foot in all Egypt. So he's basically saying, I'm still in charge, but everybody's going to think you're in charge. At least that's what I'm taking from it. The Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Zephanath Pene, Paneah. So it's Zephanath Paneah. He gave him that name and gave him Asenath, daughter of Potiphera, Potiphar sounds good. Priest of On, to be his wife. And Joseph was 30 years old. During the 7 years of abundance, the land produced plentifully. Joseph collected all the food produced and stored it in the cities. Before the years of famine came, 2 sons were born to Joseph and they don't have a name. 2 sons were born to Joseph by Asenath. By Asenath. The firstborn was Manasseh. 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 The second son, Ephraim. Ephraim. Ephraim or some, I don't know, some shit. Verse 53, the 7 years of abundance in Egypt came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began. But in the whole land of Egypt there was food. So all that food he collected will be coming in handy. Let's see what we got. And at the end of chapter 41, it says, and all the world came to Egypt to buy grain from Joseph because the famine was severe everywhere. So the whole world came to Egypt to get grain. The whole world? I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying the whole world. I'm not going to do it. Let's continue to read. We at chapter 42. And I'm trying to cut my time down to like 30 something minutes instead of 40 something minutes. So I'm going to try to get it like that. Chapter 42. Let's move this out the way. Chapter 42. When Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you just keep looking at each other?" He continued, "I have heard that there is grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy some for us, so that we may live and not die." I'm sorry, I had to go back and look at some stuff. But verse 3. Then 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain from Egypt, but Jacob did not send Benjamin, Joseph's brother, with the others, because he was afraid that harm might come to him. Okay, so I see why I was confused. The whole Jacob and Joseph thing was killing me. I thought we was talking about Joseph when I said Jacob, but I'm cool. I hope y'all cool. I'm cool. I got it now. Okay, so let's start that verse 3 over again. Then 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain from Egypt, but Jacob did not send Benjamin, Joseph's brother, with the others, because he was afraid that harm might come to him. So Israel's sons, here we go with that again. We're switching the names up. Israel's sons were among those who went to buy grain, for there was famine in the land of Canaan also. Now Joseph was the governor of the land, the person who sold grain to all his people. So when Joseph's brothers arrived, they bowed down to him with their faces to the ground. As soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly to him. "Where do you come from?" he asked. Oh, Joseph's petty. Okay. "From the land of Canaan," they replied, "to buy food." Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. Then he remembered his dreams about them and said to them, "You are spies." You are spies. You have come to see me. You have come to see where our land is unprotected. Verse 10. "No, my lord," they answered. Your servants have come to buy food. We are all the sons of one man. Your servants are honest men, not spies." "No," he said to them. "You have come to see where our land is unprotected." But they replied, "Your servants were 12 brothers, the sons of one man, who lives in the land of Canaan. The youngest is now with our father, and one is no more." Joseph said to them, "It is just as I told you. You are spies, and this is how you will be tested. As surely as Pharaoh lives, you will not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of your number to get your brother. Send one of your number to get your brother. The rest of you will be kept in prison so that your words may be tested to see if you are telling the truth. If you are not, then surely as Pharaoh lives, you are spies. And he put them all in custody for 3 days. 18. On the third day, Joseph said to them, do this and you will live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay here in prison, while the rest of you go and take grain back for your starving households. Verse 20. But you must bring your youngest brother to me, so that your words may be verified and that you may not die. They proceeded to do. They said to one another, surely we are being punished because of our brother. We saw how distressed, where is it? Siri messed me up. Okay, good. Okay, we saw how distressed he was when he pleaded with us for his life, but we will not listen. That's why this distress has come on us. Reuben replied, I didn't tell you not to sin against the boy. Let me redo that. Didn't I tell you not to sin against the boy? But you wouldn't listen. Now we must give an accounting for his blood. They did not realize that Joseph could understand them, since he was using an interpreter. When did he forget the language? He turned away from them and began to weep, but then came back and spoke to them again. He had Simeon taken from them and bound before their eyes. Joseph gave orders to fill their bags with grain, to put each man's silver back in his sack, and to give them provisions for their journey. After this was done for them, they loaded their grain on their donkeys and left. At the place where they stopped for the night, one of them opened his sack to get feed for his donkey, and he saw his silver in the mouth of his sack. My silver had been returned, he said to his brothers. Here it is in my sack. Their hearts sank, and they turned to each other trembling and said, what is this that God had done to us? 29. When they came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, they told him all that had happened to them. They said, the man who is Lord over the land spoke harshly to us and treated us as though we were spying on the land. But we said to him, we are honest men, we are not spies. We were 12 brothers, sons of one father. One is no more, and the youngest is now with our father in Canaan. Then the man who is the Lord over the land said to us, this is how I know whether you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me, and take food for your starving household and go. But bring your youngest brother to me, so I will know that you are not spies, but honest men. Then I will give your brother back to you, and you can trade in the land. 35. As they were emptying their sacks, there in each man's sack was a pouch of silver. When they and their father saw the money pouches, they were frightened. Their father Jacob said to them, you have deprived me of my children. Joseph is no more, and Simeon is no more. And now you want to take Benjamin? I said it wrong. It sounded like that's how they should have said it, but whatever. Everything is against me. Then Reuben said to his father, you may put both of my sons to death. If not, I gotta stop jumping the gun. If I do not bring him back to you, entrust him to my care, and I will bring him back. But Jacob said, my son will not go down there with you. His brother is dead, and he is the only one left. If harm comes to him on the journey you are taking, you will bring my gray head down to the grave in sorrow. Chapter 43. Now the famine was still severe in the land. So when they had eaten all the grain, they all the grain they had brought from Egypt, their father said to them, "Go back and buy us a little more food." Whew. I don't like the punctuations. I don't like the words, the word grouping. Yeah, it's killing me. But Judah said to him, "The man warned us solemnly, 'You will see my face again unless your brother is with you. If you will send our brother along with us, we will go down and buy food for you. But if you will not send him, we will not go down, because the man said to us, 'You will not see my face again unless your brother is with you.'" Israel asked, here we go, switching it up again, "Why did you bring this trouble on me by telling the man, why did you bring this trouble on me by telling the man you had another brother?" They replied, "The man questioned us closely about ourselves and our family. Is your father still living?" he asked. "Do you have another brother?" We simply answered his questions. How were we to know he would say, "Bring your brother down here"? Then Judah said to Israel, his father, "Send the boy along with me, and we will go at once, so that we and you and our children may live and not die." God. "I myself will guarantee his safety. You can hold me personally responsible for him. If I do not bring him back to you and set him here before you, I will bear the blame before you all my life. As it is, if we had not delayed, we could have gone and returned twice." So it's been that long. Then their father Israel said to them, "If it must be, then do this. Put some of the best products of the land in your bags and take them down to the man as a gift: a little balm and a little honey, some spices, and myrrh, myrrh, some pistachio nuts and almonds. Take double the amount of silver with you, for you must return the silver that was put back into the mouths of your sacks. Perhaps it was a mistake. Take your brother also and go back to the man at once. And may God Almighty grant you mercy before the man, so that he will let your other brother and Benjamin come back with you. As for me, I am bereaved. Repeated it. I am bereaved. So the men took the gifts and double the amount of silver, and Benjamin also. They hurried down to Egypt and presented themselves to Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the steward of the house, "Take these men to my house, slaughter an animal, and prepare a meal. They are to eat with me at noon." The man did as Joseph told him and took the men to Joseph's house. Now the men were frightened when they were taken to his house. They thought, "We were brought here because of the silver that was put back into our sacks the first time. He wants to attack us and overpower us and seize us as slaves and take our donkeys." 19. So they went up to Joseph's steward and spoke to him at the entrance of the house. "We beg your pardon, our lord," they said. "We came down here the first time to buy food, but at the place where we stopped for the night, we opened our sacks, and each of us found his silver, the exact weight, in the mouth of his sack. So we have brought it back with us. We have also brought additional silver with us to buy food. We don't know who put our silver in our sacks." "It's all right," he said. "Don't be afraid. Your God, the God of your father, has given you treasure in your sacks. I received your silver." Then he brought Simeon out to them. 24. The steward took the men into Joseph's house, gave them water to wash their feet, and provided fodder for their donkeys. Fodder, Fodder. They prepared their gifts for Joseph's arrival at noon, because they heard that they were to eat there. When Joseph came home, they presented to him the gifts they had brought into the house, and they bowed down before him to the ground. He asked them how they were, and then he said, "How's your aged father you told me about? Is he still living?" They replied, "Your servant, our father, is still alive and well." And they bowed down, prostrating themselves before him. prostrating. Uh, as he looked about and saw his brother Benjamin, his own mother's son, he asked, "Is this your youngest brother, the one you told me about?" And he said, "God be gracious to you, my son." Deeply moved at the sight of his brother, Joseph hurried out and looked for a place to weep. He went into his private room and wept there. After he had washed his face, he came out and, controlling himself, said, "Serve the food." They served him by himself, the brothers themselves. They served him by himself, the brothers themselves, and the Egyptians who ate with him. I hate it when Siri does it. And the Egyptians who ate with him by themselves, because Egyptians could not eat with Hebrews, for that is detestable for Egyptians, detestable to Egyptians. Excuse me, y'all. Focus, Bible, me in it. It's not getting long. Sorry. Verse 33. The men had been seated before him in the order of their ages, from the firstborn to the youngest, and they looked at each other in astonishment when portions were served to them from Joseph's table. Benjamin's portion was 5 times as much as anyone else's, so they feasted and drank freely with him. Okay, that was chapter 43. Let's see. Let's make it to 45. I'm going to read 44. Okay, now Joseph gave these instructions to the steward of his house. Fill the men's sacks with as much food as they can carry, and put each man's silver in the mouth of his sack. Then put my cup, the silver one, in the mouth of the youngest one's sack, along with the silver for his grain. And he did as Joseph said. As morning dawned, the men were sent on their way with their donkeys. They had not gone far from the city when Joseph said to his steward, "Go after those men at once, and when you catch up with them, say to them, 'Why have you repaid good with evil? Isn't this the cup my master drinks from and also uses for divination? This is a wicked thing you have done.' When he caught up with them, he repeated the words to them, but they said to him, 'Why does my lord say such things? Far be it from your servants to do anything like that. We even brought back to you from the land of Canaan the silver we found inside the mouths of our sacks. So why would we steal silver or gold from your master's house? If any of your servants is found to have it, he will die, and the rest of us will become my lord's slaves.'" Whoa. "Very well then," he said, "let it be as you say. Whoever is found to have it will become my slave. The rest of you will be free from blame." Each of them quickly lowered his sack to the ground and opened it. Then the steward proceeded to search, beginning with the oldest and ending with the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. At this, they tore their clothes. Then they all loaded their donkeys and returned to the city. They tore their clothes, meaning they panicked, or they had a panic attack, raised out. I don't know. They loaded their donkeys and returned to the city. Joseph was still in the house when Judah and his brothers came in, and they threw themselves to the ground before him. Joseph said to them, "What is this you have done? Don't you know that a man like me can find things out by divination?" 16. "What can we say to my lord?" Judah replied. "What can we say? How can we prove our innocence? God has uncovered your servant's guilt. We are now my lord's slaves, we ourselves, and the one who was found to have the cup." But Joseph said, "Far be it from me to do such a thing. Only the man who was found to have the cup will become my slave. The rest of you go back to your father in peace." 18. Then Judah went up to him and said, Pardon your servant, my lord. Let me speak a word to my lord." "Pardon your servant, my lord. Let me speak a word to my lord." I don't know. "Do not be angry with your servant, though you are equal to Pharaoh himself. My lord asked his servants, 'Do you have a father or a brother?' And we answered, 'We have an aged father and there is a young son born to him in his old age. His brother is dead, and he is the only one of his mother's sons left, and his father loves him. Then you said to your servants, bring him down to me so I can see him for myself. And we said to my lord, the boy cannot leave his father. If he leaves him, his father will die. But you told your servants, unless your youngest brother comes down with you, you will not see my face again. When we went back to your servant, my father, the punctuation's not in the, we told him what my lord had said. Then our father said, go back and buy a little more food. But we said, we cannot go down, only if our youngest brother is with us, will we go. We cannot see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us. Your servant, my father said to us, God, this stuff is killing me. You know that my wife bore me 2 sons. One of them went away from me, and I said, he has surely been torn to pieces. This is not written well. And I have not seen him since. If you take this one from me too, and harm comes to him, you will bring my gray head down to the grave in misery. So now if the boy is not with us when I go back to your servant, my father, and if my father, whose life is closely bound up with the boy's life, sees that the boy isn't there, he will die. Your servants will bring the gray head of our father down to the grave in sorrow. Your servant guaranteed the boy's safety to my father. I said, if I do not bring him back to you, I will bear the blame before you, my father, all my life. Now then, please let your servant remain here as my lord's slave in place of the boy, and let the boy return with his brothers. How can I go back to my father if the boy is not with me? No, do not let me see the misery that will come on my father. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Right now, I can't tell if Joseph is just playing around, which, I mean, that's what it seemed like in the beginning when they first met. It seemed like he was just playing around, but I don't know what's going on no more. Like, what is he doing? But it seems to me that his dream is really, becoming what he said it was. Basically he was saying that they will all bow to him, and it's definitely becoming that. It has become that, especially with the brothers, but as far as his father goes, he ain't seen him yet. But yeah, I mean, it's still a pretty cool story, Joseph. I just hope he don't turn out to be one of them dirty types, because I already got this respect for him, you know what I mean? So yeah, we're gonna stop there, and we're gonna continue on 45. And yeah, we gonna do it like that. But yeah, so everybody, thank you for watching. Like always, like, comment, subscribe. You know how it go. Let me put this up before I close it. We are almost there. Chapter 45. The last chapter in Genesis is 50. We're at 45 now. So we almost there. We're almost at the end. Just hang in there. We'll get there. Until next time, though, I'll see you. Peace.